This is the beginning of the podcast for the listeners that are unsure of when it starts. This is when it starts. Like you've hit play and now there's noise in your ears, and that's because the podcast started. And let's do a quick shout out to Heart Tools. Just saying. Now we can talk about Chad's high vis problems getting run over by trucks.
Okay. Well, I didn't get run over by a truck, but for our listeners who probably can't see this, I'm wearing a high vis shirt to this round. What do we call this? Well, our powwow. Are you allowed to say powwow?
I don't know.
Let's say powwow. A recording.
Listen, you just complained about appropriation in Walmart this week, so
exactly. Here we go. Right, but
this is our group discussion.
Our group discussion
that's recorded for the listening pleasure of others.
That's it.
Apparently,
that's nice.
Apparently, and I think we're growing. Right, like we're.
I feel like now that we're in the top 300, I have to be like maybe swear less, and we could get to like the top 250 consistently.
We can't say words like powwow. We're not going to get anywhere near the top 50 with those words.
We're going to get canceled before we ever got started. You guys are fucking canceled.
Well.
So I know you guys have probably seen the big push on the Heart Tools.
It's great. Yeah,
I like to say I'm holding up my end, Chad. Not blaming anyone.
Well, let's talk now because I was so busy on site today. I got a chance to run my Heart lawnmower this weekend because my gas-powered lawnmower shit the bed mid-cut. And I'm happy that I have it. I mean...
it came to the rescue, essentially.
It came to the rescue, for sure, with a... What's your blower? A 20 volt?
It's a 20 volt, yeah.
So
although in the latest video, I talk about how it's a 12 volt. And I was like, I don't really want to re-record this, and I don't really fucking care that much. So this blower is now a 12 volt in this one video.
I wonder if you could hook up my 60 volt lawnmower battery to your 20 volt blower.
I thought the batteries were interchangeable. I thought that was the point of the whole system.
They are, but I think it just needs a little more juice for the lawnmower than it would for a blower.
The blower could use some more juice.
More juice. Well, I'll be happy to send you that battery when I'm done with it. Whenever I park the lawnmower for the winter, I'll send you that 60 volt battery.
I thought today, should I inquire about getting more Heart Tools?
Absolutely.
That's right.
And I was like, what are the chances of them sending me more? Because I think I ruined that opportunity. Like Chad did it right. He said, send it all.
Yeah,
and they sent it all.
Right.
Whereas I was like, just send me the blower. And now they're like, yeah, this guy's a fuck up. We're not sending him anything else.
Have they reached out to you since starting?
Absolutely not.
No.
They have absolutely made no contact with me and want nothing to do with the videos that I'm producing, I think. And this is just the start. Like the blower is going to come into effect hard.
So you haven't got to the heart of things yet.
I'm just letting it develop day by day. Day by day, I'm letting it develop.
This might be a good time to say we're looking for sponsors for this podcast. So if you want to be a sponsor,
there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Like it's all.
Honestly, though, like they sent me the thing. Like, what did they think was going to happen? Have they ever watched anything that I produce? Like they sent it to me. Like, would they think suddenly I was going to be like fucking toolaholic and do a breakdown of the fucking tools? Like. It's never happening. That's the blower. It rides shotgun in the truck with me every day, just in case there's a sudden need for 90-mile-an-hour blow. My favorite part of the blower, honestly, was on the box. It said 250 CFM or something, and I was like, I don't even fucking know what that means. That is like as screwed up a metric as we're the 300th most downloaded business podcast in Western Canada on the East Shore. That's like it's screwed up that much of a fucking. I was like, I don't even know what this is. Do you guys know what that is? CFM?
I think it has to do with like I researched it like back when I actually bought a blower, but
Oh,
I think it's
cool.
like revolutions of some sort per minute. I don't actually exactly know, but something along those lines.
It's cubic feet per minute.
Oh, then I was completely
250.
wrong.
Measurement of airflow volume determined by how many cubic feet of air pass by a stationary point in 1 minute.
Mm, great. 250 at 90 miles an hour. I gotta say, if that blower is operating at 90 miles an hour, I feel like 90 miles an hour is not that fast. I think blowers need to operate at like 180 miles an hour. Putting it out there. But
Are you in need of more power in the blower? Like, is that do you-
I
with
think
your
I'm-
heart blower? Do you wish it were blowing more?
perhaps, I guess, yeah. I haven't encountered a situation where I actually need a blower for anything. Like honestly, 90 miles an hour and 250 CFM or whatever that was, it definitely cleaned the back of Bill's head. And it gave Kyle a great breeze to wave his mullet around in. So I mean, like, it's doing the job that I'm asking it to do every day. Like the first two field tests, I would say were pure success. I did record. I was doing dumping some HVB today for Matt Beam, and we did record the Heart tool blower doing some other things. I'm thinking about getting like a strap so I can wear it over my shoulder everywhere I go.
Wow.
That's
So
nice.
like if there's you're walking down the street and you see a sudden need for blowing, you just boom, whip out your Heart Tools blower and hey, you know what? That was the charger charged fucking fast. But I don't know if the battery was dead all the way. But it charged really fast. And it says fast charger on it. So but it didn't have any metric like CFM or PM or whatever. So
I like the visual of the blower riding shotgun with you all day, and it's there ready for you at any point in time you need it.
Is this in the bin truck? It's riding shotgun with you,
No,
or
the
in the
bin,
Veloster?
the bin truck's getting a turbo. I've been driving the triaxle because the bin truck needed a turbo and a DPF. So that was a sick 15 grand
Wow. How old's the bin truck?
in 2009.
Yeah, that was a bad year for anything diesel, right?
So
Or was
Yeah.
29?
I don't know. It doesn't have DEF fluid. It just has a DPF, but
Okay.
it's old. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
2009. Like I wasn't devastated. Like I wasn't devastated by the. I mean, obviously, I don't want to buy a new turbo for the bin truck because I don't think it's going to enhance the bin truck in any way or sell more bins. Like I might make an advertisement saying, "Hire us. We've got a new turbo." I don't think it's going to bring in the bin business. I don't think people give a shit about the turbo in the bin truck. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty reasonable, I guess. Like, I mean, it's a 2009. That's 400,000 kilometers on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys, I mean, I always say to Brad, like the new truck is like $4,000 a month or something. And I pay Scotiabank $4,000 a month for it every month. And I don't know those fuckers. And I don't know what the bank manager's bonus is. But I also pay $4,000 a month for the other 3 trucks that we have on average, probably. But I give it to Brad. So at least when Brad buys a cottage from me constantly paying to repair the older trucks, he might invite me there. And we might be able to go to Brad's cottage based on how much we pay him to fix our trucks. But you're going to pay no matter what you do. So to be honest, I'd rather give the money to Brad or to like the other truck guys. Like I'd rather give it to them than give it to the fucking bank manager. Although I'm sure bank managers are great in case there are any of the 100 people from Australia that tune in weekly. I fucking love the shit out of bank managers in Australia.
Chad, what was your review on the Heart lawnmower?
The Heart lawnmower. Maybe I should make a video. It was
Probably that's
good.
what they hope for.
Yeah, I know.
The
I'm
fleet
letting
of
them
tools
down.
they sent you.
I can't see you guys now. What's going on here? Something's wrong with my computer.
I
There you go.
did lean backwards.
Oh, that could have been it. No.
Probably most of the problem.
So, first impressions of this lawnmower are good, but anything that's free is good, right? So, I mean, it cut probably a section of grass that was 50 feet long by 30 feet that my other lawnmower couldn't handle. No complaints. There's no bag, which is fine because the neighbor came over with his little tractor and that. Have you seen these like carousels on the back that like sweep all the grass cutting into a big like trolley?
What's
or
your
something?
neighbor's root density?
He does mine. He does the guy across the road that's cripple.
God. He's
And-
doing that at the powwow.
You can't say cripple? I think you can say cripple still.
I don't think you can say that. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I said it.
Obviously.
Anyway, the guy across the road's a cripple. He does his so his root density, I mean, if he were making money, he'd be making money because I mean
Low
he doesn't even
overhead.
have low overhead. He doesn't have to get off the tractor for any of his sites or the lawnmower. So I mean it's gotta be pretty good. But I mean he's not making any money, so the whole scheme doesn't work, right?
How did he feel about your lawnmower? Did he look at it and be like, "Hey, what's that?" Or did he immediately make fun of you?
No, he looked at it and goes, "Hey, is that electric?" I said, "Yeah, it was free." And then he came over. I'll sweep that up for you. But
Did he try it?
no,
His interest waned immediately.
Yeah. like, what's the big deal? I mean, it worked. It did the job. So, I mean,
It filled the gap.
it filled the gap. Yeah, for
Do you think
sure.
you could have cut the hole on with it? Did you pre-charge or did you just stick the battery in it right out of the box?
No, I pre-charged for probably 2 weeks in the garage. I don't know how long it took to charge it, but it was in the garage for 2 weeks, just
Nice.
charging.
Did you unbox all the tools?
Yeah, because my wife didn't want me to take them in the house in the box. There
Why?
was just so many boxes.
I saw you got hooked up with hard tools, man.
Oh yeah, honestly, I think they sent me like 2 blowers. So, Mike, if you need a blower,
Really?
I could, yeah, or
I could
don't
use
know, like,
another one for the other truck because otherwise I'm going to make the sling so I have a blower with me at all times.
at all times. But
Yeah.
maybe one of your other drivers would like a blower.
No, I asked them.
And they said no.
They all said that's fucking stupid. I'm not carting a blower around in my truck. I was like, "Are you sure?" That's great.
Do they make Paver King approved videos? Like the other people on your crew? Like, do you ask them to do that, or is it all you
No, I make them all.
there? It's all.
If they made one, I've had people make them before. Yeah, like I think it's great. I'm happy if they make them.
You don't think
Do you think I should take this call from Nancy on the podcast? I'm going to.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hey there.
We're on the podcast right now. We're recording this live, Nancy. So speak up loud.
I'll talk to you later, Mike. It's okay.
No, you can talk on the podcast. We don't mind, Nancy.
You don't mind. Well, I'm calling about the plant budget for Dexter.
The plant for Dexter. We're at Dexter. You didn't do any plants there yet.
No, I'm talking about the budget.
Oh, I don't know what the budget was.
Well, I'm just telling you. I'm just giving you a heads up that looks like I'm going to go over the number I gave you.
Shocking.
And so,
I've already accounted for that. We've been doing this for 12 years, Nancy.
yeah, because
I accounted for you buying more plants than you allowed for.
I had to get bigger trees.
Well, obviously we needed bigger trees.
Bigger than what okay. So, all right. So you're not going to bite my head off.
No, because right now you're on the 300th most downloaded business podcast in Eastern Canada by the shore.
Oh, great.
So you think about that when you go to bed tonight.
I will.
It's epic.
Okay.
All right, go over the budget. I'm authorizing it here on the podcast. There's proof, okay?
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Great. Okay.
Bye, Nancy. Bye. Designers.
they're great. Like, I have a great relationship with designers.
We're doing the guys are doing it. So remember the whole barbecue cap fiasco. The same guy Matt from Apex is doing a job for us right now that Nancy designed. And he called me today. He's like, "Hey man, like I have some waste on these copings for overlaying the porch. I'm like, okay. He's like, I think I'm gonna have to buy one more coping. I'm like, fuck yeah, go for it. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, bro, last time we were buying $1,000 barbecue caps, like we're going out of style. This is like a fucking coping. Who cares? It's all good, bro. Go for it. I was like, get whatever you need. Like, we're good. So we're obviously over on the plant budget now. The plant LMN is going to be fucking pissed about the plant budget being screwed up by Nancy. Well, I don't use it either. That also probably irritates them. But if I was using it, Nancy just fucked it up. And another sponsor goes down the drain.
Uh,
What happened to you today, Chad, that you're still wearing your high vis on the podcast?
well, obviously I haven't showered. Where was I today? Oh, we were out. We were on a residential, but I make it a daily thing now to wear high vis.
To shower?
No, not in the shower.
Mhm.
On that note, so we bought all our guys like safety kits at the beginning of the year. So last year it had like all this fucking COVID shit in it, like masks and towelettes and it had a respirator and it had safety glasses and earmuffs and a hard helmet. And one of the things that, because these came like pre-made from the safety guy in town or something like that, they gave us, it's not safety shirts, not vests, but they gave us like safety thongs.
Oh
have
yeah.
have you guys?
Yeah, they're
like-
like those things that just you wear over top of your normal shirt.
Yeah,
They're truck driver things. They wear them all
they're
the time.
truck driver things. I didn't know that was a truck driver. I thought they were
Well,
silly.
like truck drivers who deliver stuff. Well, I guess all truck drivers who like drive box trucks and like deliver like boxes out of like they all wear them.
Oh, so
Some
it's an
truck,
like
some truck drivers don't wear them, but
Like-
those kind of people do.
what safety gear do a dump
Those
truck driver
people.
wear?
Those
Do they-
people.
those
Fuck, we're really fucking this up tonight. Those people wear those. No, like like they drive like 5-ton van trailer trucks, like single axle van trailers. Like they
Yeah.
deliver like I don't know, like they deliver like not. They're kind of like above Uber Eats and below transport trucks. I guess they
Above.
deliver mid-range products.
like the Amazon delivery people.
No, I think they're above
Like-
Amazon.
They're above Amazon.
Yeah, I feel like
Is Amazon above or below Uber Eats?
above. No,
Am-
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I would-
Uber
What's
Eats
more-
are- Uber
what's
Eats are
more
kinda your
important,
own-
eating
your own-
or-
your- well, but Uber Eats are your own boss.
I think, yeah.
Do those
Are
people
you?
work for Amazon or do they? I don't even know how that works.
They're contracted out, I think. I think like you can become an Amazon delivery person.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess because there's lots of people doing it. So I guess
Oh,
we
yeah.
could. I guess we could become an immigrant. We're becoming them all the time. So
Uh,
I don't know. They were anyways. Go back to the story about the kits.
because that was it.
I was.
No.
That was the whole story.
That was it. Like these safety thongs, like the guys refused to wear them, right? Because we call them safety thongs.
Hmm.
Where's your safety thong? So anyway, that was useless. There was a bunch of other useless stuff in there too. There's some good stuff. We had like suntan lotion in there, and I don't know what else. But it's a good idea.
How much were those kits?
$200 a piece, I think.
Oh, that's pretty
150,
good.
$200 a piece. I gave one to my brother-in-law, and he worked for us for like 2 weeks. Then he took the kit and fucked off. He still has the kit, so
You can
Anyway.
address that at Thanksgiving dinner.
I can address that at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, at Thanksgiving dinner, you can look across the table in front of the whole family and be like, "Yo, bro, where the fuck is my safety thong?
Where's my safety? thong?
Yeah, where's my thong?
That safety thong is bankrupting me over here."
We're doing okay, even
Yeah,
without the safety thong.
we have like these. They're like Under Armour shirts, and then our one commercial client wants us to wear all his. Part of the requirement of being a subcontractor for him is that he supplies all the safety shirts and hard hats for your guys because he wants
Like
it to
that,
have
yeah.
he wants it to have an appearance of. I think it's smart,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And because if there's a problem on site or there's something like, and you are representing him, right?
Mhm.
So when you're there working, I think it's a smart idea. At first, I was like, "This is crazy," but then I was like, "Oh," because sometimes you don't know who you're talking to, and it's a big commercial site, and you're obviously working for him, and he wants his company to be represented, not whatever. I think it's actually smart.
Yeah.
Good idea. Like,
Yeah.
we should probably do that with our like residential subcontractors if I fucking cared more. But some days I just wake up and I'm like, man, I wish I cared more, and then I don't.
I like a good
I wish I
company
did.
image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I like-
yeah.
We used to try like everybody in natural design shirts and all that stuff, but then like some of the guys would wear shirts from like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and they got mixed in with the newer shirts, and all of a sudden there's just all sorts of rotten old shirts on site, and everybody's wearing a rotten old hat, and like we're getting hats from other contractors, and the guys are wearing those, and I mean they're all full of brick dust and they're all faded, and it's hard. Like it's hard to keep a crew outfitted nicely in such a dirty job.
I can't believe that there's contractors out there that wear other people's hats.
I don't mind that. Like it's a hat.
Yeah, it's total like I think it's bullshit when someone's wearing someone else's hat.
Uh,
Shout out to Pride Hardscape right now.
Shout out to Pride Hardscape. Thanks for the hat. Yo, thanks for the hat, Pride Hardscape. No one's watching this, so it was funny,
Yeah.
but to like a select crowd of Mike, because Chad totally didn't get it.
I can't tell. I can't. No, your logo is like muted out, so I can't see
It's
it.
Oregon. Like I'm gonna say though that like
There, I can't see it.
okay, well, but I think that Evan needs to do a better job with his hats because there's no representation of a steel wrist tilt rotator on the excavator on this hat. Well, there isn't. It's just a standard bucket, and like he rotates his tilt rotator on Instagram at least 3 times a week. I'm just joking. I don't think he actually does.
I haven't seen one of his reels for a while, actually.
Just picking on the tilt rotating crowd this week. So, if you're a listener of the podcast, I have decided to become an ambassador for NCon, even though I don't have an NCon tilt rotator. And basically, I'm going to make a bunch of videos of me not rotating a bucket, talking about how great my NCon tilt rotator is. And when someone calls me out on it, I'm going to say, hey, the Emperor is not wearing any clothes. Have you ever seen that, read that book where the guy?
Yeah. Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah. Because they obviously want me to be an ambassador, but to be an ambassador, I have to buy their fucking tilt rotator that's 40 grand. So you know what? I'm going to be an ambassador without one.
I
See how
love
that-
your,
How that
I love your
goes for
back
me.
and forth with them on the comment section. I love how they responded to you too.
Yeah, balls to them. You know, I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty brave, really, because who knows what's going to happen.
I like that
What's
you
it-
take that into your own hands. You say, I am an ambassador for NCon, regardless of what NCon says.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Heart Tools hasn't participated in. Clearly an ambassador. Well, they did send me the blower. I hope maybe NCon could just send me like a pin that doesn't fit into anything, but it's just like a random pin or like a hat. Like I can wear it all the time and be an ambassador for not. So we've got an 8-ton excavator this week. So
You bought one?
sort of.
Right.
Yeah, I got one.
Well, that's an achievement. I wish I had an 8-ton excavator.
Yeah. So we took it against one of our bills.
Oh,
So
you were forced to buy it.
No. We could have got it was just a better deal, I think. Like it was just an option, and then I think it was just a better deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I might just sell it. I might keep it. But we'll have it.
What brand of excavator is
It's
it?
a Kubota KX08
080.
080.
Same one as Andy Mulder.
It is the same one as Andy Mulder. So maybe NCon has already outfitted his. They will come and outfit mine.
Yeah.
Probably not.
All you have to do is ask.
Well, I feel like if you don't ask, no one's ever going to give you. Well, Heart Tools did, but other than Heart Tools, if you don't ask, no one's going to give you anything. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Well, I don't. I get.
I-
I'm gonna try to.
I didn't ask Art Tools either.
No,
I asked them what they had after they said they were going to send me some free stuff, and then I said send it all because I'll use it.
and make no videos and keep your shit.
Yeah.
Like I say, the only thing I've used so far is the lawnmower on a weekend. So
It'll be winter
There's
time.
there's no way you could make a video on the weekend. Fuck
No.
that.
we've been through this. I think. Well, no, we haven't. I made a policy not to do work things on the weekend if I can avoid it.
Mm.
And I'm trying to stick to that. So
It'll be the winter time
recording
before you have
yourself
time.
with the Heart lawnmower classified as a work thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I guess I grouped it in with a work thing if
I
I
can-
decided not to make a video about
I can accept it. Sure. Who am I to judge it? Really? Like,
Uh,
do you even
no.
give a fuck what I think about it?
About the lawnmower? Or
No, about the fact that I think you should have made a video, and you said it's a work thing, so I'm not doing it.
oh, well, maybe my grass will have grown enough that I can cut it again this weekend for you and make a video.
It's
At
that
the
kind
same
of
time.
season.
It's that kind of season. Yeah.
Mm.
A time lapse video, and then put the most trending music to it, and then there you go.
What you won't be able to see is the fact that the lawnmower clogs up every once in a while, and the battery needs like 10 seconds to do something to get it working again. And I'm like shaking the lawnmower and trying to bang the grass out at the same time.
I think potentially your grass was too long.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's the lawnmower's fault. It's probably a neglect. Again, we talked about how I neglected my pool. I also neglect my lawn, I suppose.
Our neighbors cut the grass
Just like my neighbor.
because I just leave it. I don't
Yes.
give a fuck.
And how's his root density?
Well, he does ours, his, and the lady next door's.
Is she a cripple?
Who's-
I was gonna ask.
She's a retired principal
Oh.
who's overweight. I don't think she qualifies as a crippled person, though. Like, this is an offside conversation. But he cuts her grass, so I feel like his root densities. We live on a court, right? So he could maybe go around the court and pick up a few more free lawns that he's not getting paid for.
Yeah.
I guess if you want. Although the guy who lives on the other side of me is pretty intense about cutting the grass too. So he might bump into that guy and interfere with that guy's root density, but I don't know how you charge less than him because that guy charges nothing too. So like, are you going to start paying people to cut their grass? I don't know. Like
Anything
There's
to
pro-
dominate the route.
There's probably a formula in there about how much you paid for fuel that would make it more economical or something like that. So,
I don't even know the names of these people, and I've lived here for 12 years. So
well, you have the cripple principal. And do they need a
the only
name?
reason I know, well, I honestly, I don't know, like the people who live on either side of me, I've lived beside them for 10 years. I have no idea what their fucking names are. I don't care. So I try to avoid them. If they're outside, I just look at the ground and walk in for fucking 12 years.
12 years.
Not, this isn't like a month. I'm like, I have too much going on in my life. I don't need this shit of like whatever is going on in this neighborhood. I don't fucking care. Yes, on the weekend I was walking by. The guy's like, "Hey man, someone broke into my truck." I'm like, "Did you leave the door open?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, you're a fucking idiot." And I walk by him.
Wow.
Don't leave your door open, and people won't steal your shit. Like,
Did you live in like obviously a neighborhood? Like a, you said
do
you
I live in a
certain-
neighborhood?
But yeah, like I don't live in a neighborhood. Like I can't walk my child down the road and like see 10 other families.
So I live in like a residential neighborhood where there's other people.
I live on a road where, I mean, you know your neighbors, but they're not like, it's not like a family community or something like that. Like not those like those row homes that are, I'd imagine all of you Southern Ontario people live in like clusters. You know what I
I
mean?
think Mike lives in a condo.
Yeah, I live in a condo. I don't have. I also don't interact with my neighbors.
My neighbors are pretty great, but
Are they
actually, one of my competitors was born in the house that I own, probably 50 or 60 years ago. Um, so I live in like a landscaping house, I suppose.
A house of landscape.
A house of landscapers.
Is that like the House of Lancaster? You guys probably don't get that if you're
I
not.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a strip bar.
Oh.
Well,
I've
the
heard of
house
the Lancaster Smokehouse in Kitchener.
Kitchener. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, it's
Have
so
you-
good.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it is. It's
Yeah.
very good. Every time I in Kitchener, I go there.
How often are you in Kitchener?
Every couple months.
Why?
Really?
I get tattooed out there, so it's been a while. But because I went to school there, right? So I still have.
What school's in Kitchener?
Well, Laurier is in Waterloo, so
Oh,
And Waterloo's in Waterloo.
yeah, Waterloo's in Waterloo. It's a nice town. I miss it out there. But
Chad, how many tattoos do you have? Are you like tatted up from neck to?
yeah, I got some room on my legs, and that's it. Yeah,
Oh,
just
really?
room. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And my face. I'm not gonna do my face.
So when did that start? Because I heard like once you get one tattoo, you just don't stop.
Probably early 20s, 1920 or something like that. And yeah, I just never stopped. And now I look ridiculous, but can't stop now. I mean, it doesn't affect work.
Any
Which everybody-
landscaping, any hardscaping tattoos?
I got a quick cut saw blade and a hammer on my hand,
Nice.
but I think that's it. That's it.
Is that
Yeah.
branded steel or
No, it's a blade. Maybe it's a what is the
hard tools? Quick
Hard-
cut.
it's not hard tools.
how
No.
much will Heart Tools pay for Chad to
Yeah.
tattoo Heart Tools on the small bit of room that's left on his leg? So for the record, Mike, I have one tattoo and then I stopped.
Did you? Oh, nice.
I have my daughter's name on my arm and her birthday because when I used to fill out a lot of paperwork when she was a kid, I could just look at my arm.
Oh, smart.
And then I know she's born on the, and then, but a lot of people after I did it started saying, "Oh, is your daughter dead?" And I was like, "No, that's when she was born." They're like, "Well, it kind of feels like that's when she died." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Okay.
But yeah,
I'm like,
that's
well, this is
that's,
permanently tattooed on my arm now. I guess I'm fucked with that. Like, what am I doing about that problem?
I've gotten tattoos lasered before. That's
Oh, I heard that's painful.
it's quick, like it's really quick.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, you blister a lot, right? It's like you get these water blisters. Yeah, and basically, like if you get your whole arm done, like your whole arm is a giant blister. It's that's the price you pay for making a stupid decision. But
Do we get to know what you had removed? Or
I had an old band logo removed from my
Your own band?
no, like
Oh.
a rock and roll band that I liked whenever I was, and I think they're still good, but it's just not necessarily something I need to have on my body forever. But I was just making more real estate for other tattoos. So.
So you actually lasered off tattoos so you could get more tattoos?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I
Yeah.
like that.
that's common in the tattoo world. Actually, what they're doing now is they're going right over, like they're not even lasering them; they're just going right over the old stuff. So your arm's like almost black.
Mm. That seems
So-
intense.
so
yeah.
really hard tools can have any real estate on your
Any
body, not
sp-
just that small spot left on your leg.
Whatever they want to pay for. I mean, some spots are more expensive than others.
So I was on the 407 the other day and a Heart Tools F-150 went flying past me. I was like, would I have noticed that F-150 3 months ago?
Was
It
it
probably-
electric?
No, it was, well, I don't know, maybe. I was in the
Was it
triaxle, so I didn't chase it down. It went past me and I went, "Oh, Heart Tools." And then I was like, is this like a thing now? Like, did I miss something? I don't know.
I
Just-
saw one almost get T-boned in an intersection.
A Heart Tools truck?
Oh yeah.
How many can there be? It must have been the same one.
Well, they must be really ramping up here. They must be like wanting to
Well,
expand into Canada, right? And
Obviously, if they picked our podcast.
they didn't pick this podcast. This is not yet sponsored by Hard Tools. We'll gladly take Hard Tools' money. But as of today, Hard Tools has got a lot of exposure from this podcast alone.
That's got a lot of experience.
A lot of people in Australia that don't have access to Hard Tools are listening to this
No.
podcast.
I started following some guy. Maybe, well, I don't know about Australia, but I started following some guy called A Guy with Heart Tools. And he builds everything in his house with Heart Tools. I think maybe it's a setup, but maybe it's not. Maybe this guy just fucking loves Heart Tools. And he was bragging that his brother in Puerto Rico had just bought a Heart Tools socket set to fix his BMW.
What's this guy's name? Oh, what's the name of it?
A Guy with Heart Tools.
Guy with Heart Tools? Guy?
I tagged him
This
in
is
one of
definitely
Alright.
Favor King's second account. It's just
it is
you
not,
with a
no.
blower the whole time.
I'm not getting anything. No results. Guy with Heart Tools.
Okay, so I'll find the account. Hold on, because I tagged them. Go to my. This feels like a Kid Contractor podcast. I'm going through my Instagram and talking about it. Fuck, I was picking on Caleb. Go to my account.
Yeah.
And then go to the latest Heart Tools promo video.
Okay.
Is it Do It with Heart Tools?
Look at, yeah, maybe that's what it's called.
Do
Okay.
It with Heart Tools, yeah.
That's called Do It with Heart Tools. A dude using Heart Tools. And then if you go down to the picture of the socket set, here it is. Oh, this is the Honda Ruckus Rotista. Just got her wheel installed. I feel like that is not something that happened in North America.
Rotary tool. That's
Yep.
neat.
I think that, oh, here, it's the third post. It says they have Heart Tools USA in Puerto Rico. So cool. My brother, Big Papa Murph 85, that's a handle, bought this recently so we could tune up his BMW. So I don't know if this guy is in Puerto Rico or he just goes to Puerto Rico to tune up BMWs with Heart Tools. I feel like this account might, although it's only got 485 followers.
Yeah, he's posted like 4 times this year.
So what's really good is our driver Cody follows this account. Obviously, she loves Heart Tools. Go
Oh,
Cody.
but she didn't want the blower in her truck.
Christy, I don't know if I talked to Cody about it. I think I did. I
Oh.
might have I know Christy was like, get that fucking thing away from me. But there's potential that Cody might want the blower. I don't know. Maybe.
Hmm.
There's a picture, there's a reel. It's got viral music, so it's got like 10,000. There's a Heart bottle opener.
Is this a Heart carburetor? No, he's just using the.
I already know I love this bottle opener from Heart Tools. I added a magnet so it would stick to my fridge for quick and easy access. What do you think? 7 comments. That's a fine selection there, my friend. Fierstagram. Great idea. I'm thinking of laying openers into wood coasters. Do it with Heart Tools. A budding naturalist would love to see it. Keep me posted. I want to be. I'm going to tell him to keep me posted too.
What a dog shit episode this week. We have spoke about
This is a
Heart
slow
Tools
one.
for.
I don't think it is. I think it's like real. You know, this is.
Yeah,
this is
It's
what-
real, I
real.
suppose. Yeah.
I did have an interesting take on something this week, but then the conversation never led to an actual conversation.
Yeah,
was
this
like,
is
should I
still
Bring
this is
this
our
up?
worst hour at the beginning of the episode.
Mike, can you introduce this as the middle and when we really get down to business?
Right.
This is the middle of the episode where we actually. You probably shut it off. It's so fucking terrible, and all we've done is discuss like mediocre
tools.
electric tools.
Mediocre.
and some guy in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. We have one listener right now, and that's the guy from Do It with Hard Tools.
I tagged him
He's
to see if he
the
would
only one
react.
still listening at this point.
Okay, so in real, well, none of it's real, but so I periodically I listen to other podcasts. I try to listen to this one 3 or 4 times a week to keep updated. But when I'm not listening to Not Our Finest Hour or I Am a Hardscaper, I periodically listen to like speeches that of people. Like I like speeches, and some of them are motivational speeches. Some are just speeches about life, whatever. I like listening to people's take on things. So this guy was giving a speech, and he was like screaming as loud as he could, "The pain is temporary." And I'm driving in the car, and I was like, obviously you've never been a landscaper, bro. The pain never fucking goes away. The pain is forever. I can remember the first time I hurt my back. When I bend over, it was at 13 or 14. And when I bend over at 50, it still hurts. The pain in landscaping and owning a hardscaping business isn't temporary. It's forever. And if you don't commit to being in pain forever, mental pain, physical pain, emotional pain, you can never own a successful hardscaping business because the pain is forever. The pain is not temporary. You don't get to a point where you're like, fuck, I don't feel guilty about all those times I missed my kid's birthday to lay pavers. Like that doesn't happen. You don't get to a point in your life where you're like, man, that pain was temporary. It only lasted 10 years. And now I feel fucking great. My back is perfect. My mental health is great. Like I'm like every bad decision I've ever made isn't ringing around inside my fucking brain. Like every person that I stomped on or yelled at or gave a hard time, like I don't feel any guilt for that shit. The pain was temporary. I woke up this morning, boom, it's all fucking gone. This guy, I'm like, buddy, you're an idiot. Like you've never owned, I guess, any business, but this business in particular, all of us have paid everyone in this, anyone who's owned one of these businesses for any period of time has paid a fucking price. That's permanent. That's not temporary. I missed the first 2 years of my daughter's life for fucking landscaping. I didn't see her at all. I did nothing with her. I still pay for that every fucking day. It never goes away. That pain is permanent. It's forever. I'll feel bad about it when I'm 80. It doesn't matter what I do for the last 13 years of her life. Those first 2 years, I fucked the pooch. Like, I was like, anyways, I just think like this guy, and all these people are probably listening to this fucking speech going, yeah, the pain's temporary. I'm coming out on the other side. I'm like, no, you're not, you stupid fuck.
Was it a landscape podcast that this guy said? No, it was just
it's just a motivational speaker guy. One of those like Jocko guys, like, or whatever. I don't know what the guy's name is. I don't even know who the guy's name was. It was just occurred to me though. I'm like, this guy is like obviously never owned a construction business if he thinks the pain is temporary. Like my hands don't close. I can't hold on to anything. If I'm playing hockey, I almost have to tape my stick into my hand now because it won't close from the vibration of a stone saw.
Is that really people make fun of me for that? Like I can't close my hands
from the stone saw.
Is it? Is that what it's from? Like I just permanently look like I have like oven mitts on or something.
So like the finger that holds the trigger on a Stihl TS, mine is fucked because the vibration is vibrating your finger all day, every day.
I never thought of it, but I just know like I walk around like I have oven mitts all the time. People are like, close your hands or open your hands all the way. I'm like, they're like this. They're just
this is
like
my hand.
These are my hands.
Listen, you're making me self-conscious. Fuck off.
I don't care. Say what you want. These hands make money. So
I'm sorry, but do either of you honestly believe that the pain is temporary?
No. I mean, you go, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, like physically, no, and especially when you're building a business, right? Like I can see the rah motivational speech that this guy is trying to give and his point to it, but there's so many times that I hear like these, and actually this is something that really I've always struggled with is like this like mindset gurus out there. I feel like it's so easy for them to say whatever, and spew out something that's already been said a million times before and grow this guru business. But I don't know, mindset's never been a thing that like I need to continuously like focus on. So like hearing the pain is temporary, like that doesn't do anything for me. Like my take's the same as Mike's there. Like I feel pain every day. It doesn't, like, having somebody tell me that I don't feel pain or the pain is temporary, that doesn't do anything for me at all.
I used to think that if I went hard now, it would make it easier maybe in my later years or whatever, right? Like for the first 5 years, I'm like, just going to struggle now. We're going to do it and it's going to be great and it's going to pay off and then it's not going to be so hard. But 12 years in and I'm still like, fuck it. It got easier, but it never got easier. There's a different set of problems, right? Like it's not, the problems never went away. They just changed. Yeah, I'm
It's
still
still
doing
hard. It's still
yeah,
hard.
it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's still hard. It's not, it never gets unhard or less hard. It gets different hard. Right.
Yeah.
But
it's
also,
like-
why should it, right? Like, why should it get easier? Like
Well,
you're,
the
you're
theory,
trying to do something that's really hard, and with the hard work comes more and greater rewards. So like, what is somebody telling you that like the pain is temporary gonna do for you when tomorrow is just another set of problems, which, in the future, maybe you'll live a day or a life without problems, but yeah.
what if you're a
that's-
fucking landscaper?
Right, exactly.
You might live a day or life without problems if you're a fucking shoe cobbler, because no one does that anymore.
Well,
You have no
they need
customers.
money
That's
then.
a problem on its own.
Yeah.
Well, if you could afford to open a shoe cobbling business, then I'm gonna tell you right now, you got no problems. Because if you looked at that business model and we're like, I'm gonna cobble shoes, you'd be like, oh fuck, I better have a big bankroll because this ain't gonna fucking work out. Like, if you're in a landscaping business, it's never. To me, it's not getting easy. Like, you might
So-
have brief moments where it's easier, and then it will get hard again.
Yes.
But what's the end game in it all? Like, are you cashed out at 60 years old, like going to live on a beach, or is it hard until you die? Like, what's
This is something that I wanted to ask you guys actually is like, do you guys have an exit strategy in mind or a plan? Because I was actually on Kijiji, and for our American listeners, that's like Craigslist or whatever. And I came across somebody selling their landscaping business, and they wanted something like 2.5 million for it. And like the numbers, they had something like 250,000 of projects in the books for the next half year or whatever, and the owner would stay on for like half a year to see the transition over. But other than that, like there was nothing else much offered with that, right? Like, what is a landscaping business worth besides, and I'm talking about besides the equipment that's in it, right?
Well, it's worth the value of the equipment plus whatever
Yeah.
goodwill you deem it's worth. So
And then
Yeah.
when you take on that goodwill, you also take on that bad will, or I don't know
Liabilities.
what the word
Yeah.
is, the warranty work that might come with whatever the contractor's done in the past and whatnot.
the problem is that most small landscaping businesses are centered around the person that owns them.
yeah,
Right.
That's one of the things that we were trying to accomplish with the trucks, is that if I die, the trucks live on.
with new turbos.
Well, obviously, yeah. Might as well turbo. Can you please put new turbos in all of them with my
In
fucking
all of them.
with my
With
life insurance?
policy.
No, I don't have an exit strategy. My exit strategy is death. I plan on doing it till I die. I don't mean that like I'm dying tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna drive trucks till I die. I might not landscape. The business is gonna take different forms, but
Yeah,
I'm doing it till I die. I don't plan on retiring ever, not for a minute. I never have in my whole life. I've never desired to do nothing. My dad's been retired for 15 years. He fucking loves it. He rides around cutting his own grass, and he's got a big lot, so the root density is great because it's only his lot. And he cuts he loves it. Like, he loves being retired. He likes to go play hockey, has coffee with his buddies. I have no interest in any of that. First of all, I have no fucking friends. So like, I'm not gonna go have coffee with my fucking buddies because I don't have any buddies. I'm not a pleasant person. So like, I'm just gonna work till I'm dead. And then I'll die. And that'll be the end of it. And then hopefully we'll own enough equipment that Kelly can sell it off, or she can keep running the truck. Like, the goal was to have like our commercial. I don't know. I don't have my exit strategy is death. I'm okay with that. I also
Oh,
started late, right?
What's late? Like you've started over by now, right?
I
Like,
started over a lot of times.
yeah. So,
Like, I've built a business from 0 to over 7 figures 3 times in my fucking life.
that's a huge accomplishment, right? Because some people can't even say they've done that once. Yeah.
I've done it 3 times.
Like that's,
Well, the second time was a division of a landscaping company. It went from 0 to over 7 figures.
that's big. That's big.
I did it with my own company. I did it with as a division of a residential division, and then I did it again this time. So, I mean, I feel like for me, maybe I actually like the startup fight. I keep waiting for me to submarine this fucking shit. Start again. Like, I like it when everyone says you can't. Like this time when I started, everyone said you're too old, you're too fat, you're too stupid. It's never worked before. You can't do it. And I was like, yeah, fuck all you people. Like I like the whole like idea that I can't do something. So, but now it's
Oh.
people come up to me all the time like, wow, you guys are doing great. I'm like, no, we're not. Tell me how shitty I am, please. Please tell me how fucking shit I am. Don't tell me we're doing good. What are you talking about? I'm an idiot. I've made horrible decisions. Like,
So have you guys heard of D Squared, a construction company called D Squared? They're big, or they were big in Ottawa. Um, they had a fleet of like 50 trucks, all brand new, Peterbilt triaxles. They had everything under the sun, asphalt plant, whole you name it, they had it. On the back of their trucks, it said their slogan was "They said it couldn't be done." It was like a 10-year-old business or a 15-year-old business or something like that. Anyway, there's well, nobody's exactly sure where the money for the business came from, but that company is no longer in business after 15 years. And there's some other trucks on the road that were purchased out of that fleet by other companies, and they wrote something on the back like it absolutely couldn't be done or something like that because they had to liquidate whenever the company went tits up, and they had lost their entire fleets. But,
I think that's easy to do is to overexpand.
yeah,
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
like our overhead, like it's like no, it's not crimes, just people with way crazier overhead. I think our overhead is controlled for the volume of business that we do. I think our overhead's controlled, but just to look at our overhead compared to what it was like 2 years ago, I'm like, holy fuck, what the hell? I also had this week, like, I had a problem at the dump site. It was too wet, and I was like, fuck, man, there's been a dozer here for 3 fucking weeks. Can someone just push the fucking dirt out? And then I started to, I was thinking to myself, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to buy a dozer. I'm going to go push fucking dirt out myself. I don't give a fuck. I'm so done with this shit. It's fucking up my business. So I'm just going to go buy a dozer. And then in that moment, it occurred to me, now I know how people end up with so much fucking stuff
yeah,
because they're like so done with other people. Like,
yeah.
fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself. I'll buy whatever I need and I'll go do it. Then you end up with all this shit in the yard. You're not fucking doing anything.
Which isn't a problem if you have the people to run it all the time, right? Like you can find work for a dozer pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the people to run it, or if you buy all this equipment with the anticipation that you're going to have guys all the time to run it, and then all of a sudden you don't have guys to run the equipment that can be out making money every day, then that puts you in a huge problem, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really easy problem to get into with equipment rental and stuff like that. If you have tons of equipment and no one to run it.
That was one good thing about the 8-ton that we just acquired was that we don't owe a penny on it.
Yeah.
Like it's ours. So if it sits in the yard and does fuck all, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue it's not a good use of the value of the 8-ton.
Yeah.
But it's still not, it's costing the insurance. And more than likely the guy at the yard will scrap trucks with it or something. So at least, and I don't get paid for that, but he could do it. Make me feel better, I guess.
8-ton is
good
a
Instagram
valuable
reels.
Yeah.
Scrapping truck. Well, we were actually we had to move all these like ancient Mack trucks at the yard to create more room at the yard. And so it was cool. We were like shoving these trucks down the road, and they would like some of these things. I don't know when the last time they started. They've never started since I've been at the yard. And it's like in 1981, these things started and ran. It was
Wow.
crazy. Like we bump started them. I haven't bump started something since I was like, I don't know, like 17. Like I was there like push it and it'll start. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot that was even a thing. Like, cause no one has standard cars anymore. Like we used to push Mike. I had a standard car when I was a kid. We used to push it down the street and then fucking jack. And then we had a bunch of trucks at the first place I worked where we would push them up and down the road until they started. And then you leave them running all day on the job site. No
Have
one
you done
cared.
that? Have you done that thing with the new guy on the quick cut, trying to get them to start it by running it across the job?
No.
No, to try that one with the new guy. If you run with it fast enough with the blade on the ground, you can get it to start.
We used to send guys for the sod stretcher.
I've done that. I had someone call the brickyard and say, "Get the sod stretcher," and the lady on the phone called over the next guy at the next computer to say they need to rent the sod stretcher. And between the idiot on my crew and the girl who was in the office, they couldn't figure it out for 10 minutes
That's awesome.
how to get the sod stretcher. So I'm like, guys, just forget it. It's yeah. My exit strategy, I'm selling everything. It's all for sale all the time. It can go tomorrow for the right price. No, I'm improving the yard as an asset to sell on its own because I'm under no impression that natural design is worth anything without me or the guys. So it's all in assets. The land being the biggest asset.
Well, it's also not depreciating, right?
Yeah, that's it, right? It hopefully only goes up. But
What's your exit strategy, Mike?
I don't have one, but I don't
Podcasts.
necessarily. Yeah, this not our finest hour. This is my exit strategy.
No pressure, Heart Tools. I had never even heard of these fucking tools before.
No, me neither.
I didn't even know they were existed like 3 months ago. So I guess that worked. Although none of us have bought any of them, so that's not great. But so you don't have but your business is easy. Like you don't have a lot of overhead, right? So
Well, yeah, I'm still really small and to the point where yeah, like I've got a lot of room ahead of me and I've got so many decisions that I've got to make still in my business that like for me to have an exit strategy, like I don't have kids right now either. So it's not like my exit strategy is to pass it down to my imaginary child right now. So, or selling, like I just can't wrap my head around selling a landscaping business. I know lots of guys in my area that have tried to sell a landscaping business and it's just been them liquidating equipment at the end of the day.
yeah.
So yeah, but it is interesting. It is a question that I like to ask, like, what's your exit strategy so that I can kind of refine what I want to do with my business going forward.
I
Is
think
there
go ahead, Tom.
Mike, is there a magic number for you to go and work for someone else? Like, is there like a 120 or 150K a year salary that says, no, there's nothing like that?
No, especially not in like landscaping or anything like that. Like, what can I say here? Yeah, landscaping, there's no, like I would have to work for myself when it comes to landscaping or hardscaping. Anything else, I still don't think so. I think I would end up blowing my brains out if I had to work for somebody else over a longer period of time.
What if you work for a concrete manufacturer? Just putting that out there.
Yeah, like
Just
I
joking.
think
Don't respond to that.
Having started my own business, it's very difficult for me to think about going to work for somebody else at this point in time.
Would you
Before I
merge with
started
someone
my
else?
business, it was like a real reality that I would continue working as an employee, right?
Yeah.
And then it just got to a crossroads where I was like, hey, I can actually do this, because I was doing it on the side for so much, like for so long, that it made sense starting my own business.
Do you like So how old are you?
31.
So at 31, having been 31 and been in the hardscaping business, I think it's really viable to run your business the way you do with like one employee and you. Right? That's a very viable business.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think it's
For the short term.
But I'm saying at 37, 38,
Yes.
it starts
right.
to be, it becomes not as viable for you and one other person. To me, that's me. Like, I mean, I don't take particularly good care of myself, which I advertise. And, you know, I never planned that. So it's different, but I feel like at some point you're going to have to, like, it could be you and one crew. It doesn't have to get to be a huge deal. Like our residential crew right now is 2 guys and they're crushing it.
Yeah.
And if all I did was shut down everything else and manage those 2 guys and help them when they needed it, like on light duty stuff, I could survive and flourish, I believe, and still treat them really well.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I mean, like, I just wonder, like, is that like a viable thing to you to have like one, like, or do you have like dreams of like, you know, having 10 crews or?
No. I'm gonna keep it small, like 1 or 2 crews. Like that's good enough for me. But also like I get bored really easily. That's why like I've got a podcast. That's why I like doing stuff like this as well.
Yeah, this isn't
and
boring.
yeah, and for me to like come home and do nothing, like it doesn't make sense to me. So like I like coming home and continuing to work on something at least, especially in the winters. And I'm not going to do snow plowing or snow removal. So I constantly need to be doing something. And but I also don't want to grow a landscaping business to be like 10 plus crews, right? I don't want that headache, because that would remove me from being able to do so many other things that I'm also doing.
Yes, it would absorb mass amounts of your time.
Yes. Yeah.
Not that I've ever been a part of a 10 crew company, but like I've been a part of some, I would say not like bigger than mid-range landscaping companies. And it absorbs fuck tons of your time.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter where, like if you own it, I think that like a lawn maintenance company is an easier sell and sells for more because
Yes.
you're selling the book, right?
Yep. Recurring revenue.
Here's the recurring revenue clients, and there is not that doesn't exist in construction.
Yeah,
At all.
no,
At all.
that's absolutely true. The downside to that is it's lower profit margins. So like there's always give and take with any kind of business model, but yeah, I've thought about that too.
I have zero, and like that's not a part of a business that interests me at all.
No, same.
Same as like our guys are all going to go plow for a buddy of mine because he's not going to try and like lift my guys, and they all love plowing, and I'm not passionate enough about it to run a proper operation. Like I just don't care about it at all. Like I do it because it's like I would do it like because I have to, but I'm not like I think to run a really good snow business, you have to be passionate. Like there's guys who make lots of money plowing snow, but it's their passion. They're not doing it as a side project to do for 3 months in the winter. Like their equipment comes down November 15th. All their guys are out there ready to plow. Their equipment's all primed and prepped and ready. Like I can remember, like for me, it's like a December 12th, the first snowfall scramble to try and get a plow on a truck. Cause I'm not passionate enough about it. So.
Yeah, we've done a load of gravel in the morning and then put the salter in the afternoon and put it right to work, right? Like in the 5-ton dump truck or whatever. Just that switch from summer season or landscape season to snow season happened like overnight and it caught you off guard or whatever, just because you weren't ready for it. Like, I don't miss it.
Do you believe that's because you're not passionate about plowing snow?
Absolutely. We just did it to cover the cost on equipment, and we thought we'd make it. We did fine. Like we never lost on snow for anything, but and I personally don't mind it. It's just, yeah, it's not as great as summer work for sure. I'll sit at home with a coffee instead now, or help somebody. I have no problem getting in a plow truck or a backhoe or something and going out to help. But if it's not my liability, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I don't mind. I would go out and. Well, I mean, we're gonna move snow, like
Yeah.
with the trucks, but that's a totally different thing, right? Like that's. But we're not gonna. Are you guys gonna follow the Do It with Heart Tools guy?
I think I did.
I don't know if I did. Did I? I'm still
But he
on this
doesn't. He
page.
doesn't post enough. We need to start pressuring him to post more.
Why don't you
if
send
he-
him a message?
I wonder if he actually exists as a person.
Well, what's
This episode should be called Heart Tools doesn't sponsor us.
I think he's like a tour guide in in Puerto Rico.
He's a tour guide.
Yeah, he's got his name right in the bio, right?
Oh yeah.
Aldan Moo 92. Most people bet on others. I bet on myself. Love it. Traveling to Puerto Rico, book your next trip with this guy.
What's in Puerto Rico? Is it like Cornwall? A lot of
I'm sure it's
lot of
much nicer than Cornwall.
lot of distribution centers.
No, I think they have a plethora of Spanish things, beaches, probably great food, warm weather. Do we have any listeners in Puerto Rico? No, only in Dominican.
I don't even think we've got listeners in Dominican anymore. I don't even think after this episode we've got listeners.
We're gonna have anybody.
What are you talking? I think you guys are underrating this episode.
The most
Oh.
underrated episode of the Not Our Finest Hour.
Well, it's not a great hour. This is an hour. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
This is the end because this was fucking brutal tonight.
It's just
This-
not our
for
night.
anyone who needs to know, this is the goddamn end of the podcast. Thanks to Heart Tools for not sponsoring.